Coach Wells, Rod, thank you. We'll transition from the Aggies now to the Utes. Spring football got underway this week. Robert Jackson, our Ute insider, joins us now. Now the big story, obviously, Travis Wilson back after that head situation. Your observations of his first week of practice.
Yeah, Jeremiah, the great news for Utah fans is that Travis Wilson is back participating after being ruled out for football, seemingly for the rest of his career back in November. He did get the clearance to go ahead. The problem is that he hasn't been participating in any of the offseason conditioning workouts, and it's very apparent. You look at him, he looks slimmer. All the weight that he had put on, that muscle mass that he had worked so hard to attain, all that's gone, and it's a little bit back to square one mentally for him. He struggled in the pocket. He's making the correct progressions, and he has the correct quarterback mechanics. However, he's hesitating, and he's not sure of himself, and that's something, that trust, he'll have to get back to so he can be that Division I quarterback.
Now, something interesting happened on Saturday. He got in a fight, reportedly, with Gianni Paul, the linebacker. What do you take from that? Is that a good sign?
It's actually a great sign. One of the things that people kind of knocked on Travis Wilson, that he wasn't that vocal leader of the offense. What he did against the defensive vocal leader in Gianni Paul is he defended his players. He defended one of his wide receivers in a little skirmish, got really heated and stood up for his team. And that's something that you really like to see as the leader. So if he can develop and regain that kind of trust in himself to be able to make those throws and not hesitate so long. Utah has had way too many sacks in those first 3 practices. If he can develop that trust and confidence in himself, he's developing that leadership that we haven't quite seen out of him quite yet.
Now, it's great to see Travis Wilson back, but he hasn't been cleared for contact. That may not happen until fall, if at all. So if that doesn't happen, tell us about the quarterback depth. Is it better this year?
There's definitely competition, I will say that. The problem is that Travis Wilson is getting all of the #1 reps, and so it's making it difficult for guys like Connor Manning and Brandon Cox to move up the depth chart. We talked about weeding out. They had 6 guys competing. One of the guys, Micah Thomas, he's actually moved over to wide receiver, so we've seen a little bit of that weeding out process. We have 2 more guys coming in the fall. Donovan Isom, a 3-star recruit out of the state of Louisiana, and then the highly regarded transfer from Oklahoma and Kendall Thompson. So the quarterback depth chart looks good. The problem is the 2 guys that need it, in Brandon Cox and Connor Manning, aren't getting the reps that they need to move up that depth chart.
What are the most interesting position battles that are taking place right now in spring football?
The position battles that I would like to watch is at running back. You have a guy like Devontae Booker, an SEC type back that comes in and immediately makes that running back position very something that hasn't really been at Utah in the last couple of seasons. It's more of a built back. You go back to the days of like Chris Fumatsu Malafala. You have another young guy in Troy McCormick who's a little bit more elusive, like a John White. He's very quick.
As you talk to coaches, what is the #1 most important thing they want to accomplish this spring?
Tempo. We've heard it so many times out of Dave Christensen. We talked about the increased tempo with Dennis Erickson and Brian Johnson, but we didn't really see that on the on-field results. It's already apparent that Dave Christensen wants to increase the tempo, and every single drill that the Utes have been running, it's been speed, 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 and consistency, being able to make the correct reads at all the different position groups, and then being able to execute at that high level.
All right, practice continues this week. Great insight. He's Robert Jackson. The ladies call him Robert Jackson.
Oh.